So today I'm going to be tying a Mop Fly variation. This is a pattern I came up with myself, and I think it's pretty cool, and so I'm going to show you how to tie it. So start your fly by getting your bead head and your lead wraps done. I already did that in advance, so you just pretty much put your bead head and a couple of lead wraps and then start your thread. So I am going to be using some sparkle braid, mid-size and dark, like sparkle olive. So you want to cut about 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches, depending on your hook size. I'm using a size 10 Kona curved nymph and clink camera hook. I like these ones and they're barbless. So you just want to get your sparkle braid and you want to tie that on, and you want to make sure you tie it up to the lead point where you tied in your lead, because that will give the fly a nice taper as well. So I like to go almost all the way down to the end of the hook curve on this fly, and I'll show you why here in a second. So make sure you do securing wraps on that, making sure everything is secure, and then we will start making wraps going around the fly. So you just want to do touching wraps all the way up to your lead point where you tied in your lead, or a little bit less depending on how much lead you put. And it kind of gives it like a nymph feel, like, or something like that, but it just gives it an extra profile, extra sparkle, extra everything. And then just cut off that braid after you get good wraps on it, and that's the first step. So now the next step for this fly is to get your mop material. I am using just this lime green. You're just going to cut off a little bit of, or just a piece of material off your mop, and then we will start from there again. And I like to kind of strip off some of this fiber to get the mop a little bit shorter. And then you're just going to pinch the mop and do a pinch wrap and tie that in really secure, because that's the most secure part that you want, because that is important. Now we're going to start a dubbing loop. So do your dubbing loop and start. I like to do this dubbing loop, and I am out of thread on that, but that's okay. So do your dubbing loop right here. I am going to use the Crystal Dub by Hairline. It's the hare's ear type of dubbing. So just get a lot of dubbing. I like a generous amount of dubbing on my mop flies. I think it makes the collar look a lot better, buggier, everything better about it. And then you're just going to do a dubbing loop, and then just put your dubbing loop spinner in there, or if you wanted to, you could just do regular wraps if you don't have a dubbing loop spinner, or a dubbing spinner, whatever you want to call it. You could just use our regular touching wraps. So now use the rotary function or whatever. Again, if you don't have a rotary vise, just use wraps pretty much for your thread. Go back and secure it. I'm pretty much tying with my hands because I ran out of thread on my spool. So then just cut that off, and then you're just going to come over here, and that's pretty much the finished fly. Get you a whip finish going, and do a couple of turns on the whip finisher. Make sure you got a good secure whip finish. I like to do 2 whip finishes on my flies. I think it just gives it extra security. And surprisingly, I had enough extra thread off that spool to finish it just by hand. So then go and snip off your thread. I like to hit it with a little bit of UV resin around the thread wraps that we made to secure it, just to make sure that your thread doesn't go anywhere. Hit it with the UV light for a little bit. And then last step is just to brush out that dubbing collar. I like to brush it out because it gives it a buggier look, because of all that extra dubbing just flying around everywhere, which is pretty cool. And then just pick it out with your pick, and just pick it out however much you want, brush it out, do whatever you got to do to make it look good. And then that's pretty much the finished fly that has caught me so many fish I can't even count. It's very effective, very simple, and yeah, thanks for watching.